Houston Heat has the best record of any team over the past 2 seasons, as they have won 4 out of the 10 PSP events that they played in since their creation. But this year, Heat has been reformed, as they needed to replace 3 of the starting 5 when they lost their Russian stars to the new PSP team Art Chaos. But they went out and secured some of the most coveted stars in the game, bringing in Thomas Taylor from Excessive, and Ryan Moorhead, Tim Montressor, and Greg Sewers from Edmonton Impact. Rookie Keith DeVitt has come over from Omaha Vicious as well. With all these new star imports, the team has a chance to win events right away. They have all the tools they need to win again. Excellent owner support, a great coach in Jason Trojan, a team chock full of talent, and a great work ethic. Sam Monville has been a big part of the team's effort since their first tournament, and Chad George is widely considered one of the best snake players in paintball. He has weapons and depth in every position, and there's no reason that they shouldn't be a favorite to win events yet again. One of the most successful teams in the history of paintball, Chicago Aftershock has worked hard the past few years to revamp their squad. Coach Mikey Bruno has helped grow divisional talent to play at the pro level and finally get Aftershock into the Champions Division, where they will have a chance in Dallas to prove themselves against the 10 best teams in the world. True to their paintball heritage, Aftershock has cultivated an attack mentality, but the desire to push forward has been their Achilles heel, because they haven't been able to develop situational awareness needed to temper their aggression. They'll need to work on that this year, but they are one of the most exciting teams to watch because of this natural aggression. Carl Markowski's speed and experience are giant assets to the team. Veteran AJ Lawhead is always solid wherever he plays. Chris Sosine came over to the squad last year, and his ability to control things in the backfield and get kills off the break should have a big impact this season. Rob Velez and Brian McKenna will be an integral part of the game plans as well. Shock will have a lot on their plate trying to contend with the best teams in paintball, but they are right where they want to be to start off the 2014 season.
All right, next up, Houston Heat is going to be taking on Chicago Aftershock. Should be a great matchup. Shock already lost a game earlier on, though. They played San Diego Dynasty. They lost 7-5, but it was a great matchup. And Houston Heat has a victory against Omaha Vicious. Vicious went 1-1 today. Very much looking forward to this match. Chris, Houston Heat, Chicago Aftershock, what do you think?
Man, you know, it's hard to tell. I didn't think Houston Heat came out playing as good as they could this morning. It was a 7-4 game. I think that Aftershock played a little better than Vicious did that first game. If they play like they did the first game, then they're going to come out hot. They're going to come out and playing well. I think that Heat will adjust. I think that Aftershock will adjust. It's going to make for a good game. I do give the advantage to Heat. However, I'm really impressed with the Aftershock's playing right now.
Yeah, to me, I really want to see this game because I want to see what Shock does with this challenge. Right. You know, they're playing a team in Houston Heat that really stacked their lineup in the offseason after losing some stars and are very, very dedicated to being a winning squad again. And they did what was necessary in order to bring the talent in to try to secure that chance. And, you know, in Houston Heat kind of got off to a little bit of a slow start against Vicious, but they got it right back and they ended up winning that match. So Houston Heat, with the roster that they have, I mean, if you look at this player versus player and practice time in the offseason, yeah, you got to give the nod to Houston Heat. Houston Heat put in more work in the offseason than I think any other pro team as far as just days on the field and amount of time behind that gun in some really good weather, really focusing on what they needed to do to try to get this new crew to gel. That's the biggest thing. You know, when you have 4 new guys coming onto a roster, it does take some time to, you know, figure out those lines of communication, figure out who's going to play what spots, what side of the field, all that sort of stuff. But one of the big things, the big pluses for Houston Heat is that, yes, this is a new team and there are these new guys, but a lot of these guys actually all played together years ago on the now defunct Philly Americans, which was a winning team back in the day. And, you know, we're talking about Tim Montressor, Chad George, Ryan Moorhead, and Sam Monville, and they also, Jason Trojan was their coach on that team. They won tournaments, and they were one of the top teams, so those guys have definitely played together. So, yeah, Moorhead and Tim Montressor, they had played for Impact, and so there'd been some time, there'd been a gap, but it's one of those things that if you played together before and you won tournaments before, it's not going to take you that much time to actually get it back together. But we'll see. You know, Shock hasn't had that much practice time in the offseason outdoors because of the crazy winter that they had, but they did play a good game against Dynasty. They almost beat Dynasty. Dynasty had to come from behind. So regardless, it's going to be an interesting one. It's coming at you in just a few seconds. We do have Lauren down on the sidelines giving us some information down there. Let's check in with her.
am down here with Marcelo Margot of Ironmen. Now, we're about to go into the Heat versus Shock game, but first I wanted to talk to you, Marcelo, about the last match. You guys lost to Vicious 7-3, but you're saying that was a good thing and that you needed that. Why did you guys need that?
It's kind of been a honeymoon phase, you know, up until now. We've been playing really well at practice. Everybody's been playing good, playing really aggressive. Obviously, you don't need that. We wanted the win, but hopefully it's a good wake-up call for everybody. You know, we're going to have to come out here and give everything we have if we want a chance to win.
You guys have great chemistry off the field. You seem like best friends. You all love each other so much. Some people say that loving each other too much is a bad thing. Do you think that?
No, I don't think there's no such thing as loving somebody too much.
All right. What's it like having Shane Pastana back on Ironmen and coaching you guys and calling the shots?
Shane Pastana is a great leader. You know, he's a great role model. He's just an all-around good man, so having him around you it's just going to make you better.
Cool. Well, we hope to see you win the next match. We'll be going into Heat versus Shock. Who do you think is going to win? Shock played a pretty good match last one.
Actually, coming into this tournament, I thought Shock was going to be our toughest game. I feel like they've made some good pickups. They got a lot of young, hungry kids, so I'm going to go with Shock.
All right. We'll see if he's right. Stay tuned.
They say don't be perfect, be clutch. Being clutch is one of my biggest assets. You can rely on me to be clutch, and I rely on the vanquish. My name is Damian Ryan. I play for Team Infamous, and the vanquish takes my game to another level.
Oh, get out, sucker! Bye, sucker! Night, night!
Welcome back. I am here with Mikey Bruno, coach of Chicago Aftershock. You guys played such an amazing match against Dynasty. I have people hit me up on Instagram saying how impressed they were. What did you talk about since that match to make sure you can win this one against Heat?
Against them, we beat ourselves. It was mental errors. We didn't have a guy go to the penalty box. It was a little miscommunication and a couple mistakes. We beat ourselves. I mean, hats off to them. I have all the respect in the world for them, but we beat ourselves. So. And
real quick, before this point starts, we noticed that Davey Simmons is missing this weekend. Where is he, and is that affecting you guys at all?
We miss Davey for sure. He's the big heart of our team, but we wish him the best. His girl, they're expecting a little baby girl, so we wish Davey the best, and wish you were here, bud.
Uh-oh, a little mini Davey Simmons. That should be interesting.
That's his punishment, right?
All right, we got 56 seconds. Heat versus Shock. We'll see who gets this one.
So here we go. Houston Heat taking on Chicago Aftershock. And yeah, well said by Mikey Bruno, man. They did beat themselves in that game. Had some small mental errors. Dynasty came out a little flat, but still, they played great and ended up winning the match. And really some stand-up performances on some of those guys. Got a slow start, though. But hey, you know, we always say, don't be perfect, be clutch. Dynasty was that. Dynasty has gumption. That's why they're San Diego Dynasty, why they've won so many tournaments over the years, over 50 tournament wins for San Diego Dynasty around the world throughout their careers. But Shock I was impressed. I totally agree with that. I was very impressed with what they were able to do. Again, this team really hasn't had a lot of time to get any outdoor practicing in because of the weather, but they've been playing a ton of indoor, which is going to help the snap shooting and the gunfighting, but they're putting it together. So let's see, can they get it done here against Houston Heat? Houston Heat already a victory today. Houston Heat losing 3 bodies off the break, though, so this is a great start for Chicago Aftershock. Carl Markowski in the 50-yard line snake, dead center on your screen.
Yeah, Chris Sosine diced up Ryan Moorhead going out to that Dorito side corner. Another body off the snake side, or 2 bodies off the snake side. Sam Monville tries to fill out to the snake side. He gets shot. Just one body left as Aftershock is coming down the middle of the field right now. Carl Markowski coming down the snake. And looks like Velez is going to come in, clean out the last body. That was Greg Sewers walking off the field. So Aftershock dropping the grenade on the break real quick. Going to go up 1-0 against Houston Heat.
Aftershock surprising some people, man. You know, Houston Heat, in the 2 years that they've been together, have found a ton of success, but, you know, they had to reform and rebuild their roster in the offseason. So just like the Ironmen, how long is it going to take those guys? You know, obviously they have had, very similar to what Marcelo said, a little honeymoon period where, you know, in the practices they've been playing well and really vibing together and feeling like a family, feeling like a team, spending a ton of time getting that vibe together. But it all comes down to how well you do at the tournament, and it does take a little bit of time to reform the integral flow you need, inner point, the communication, who's picking up certain lanes, all those little things. And
knowing your teammates' tendencies.
Absolutely.
Knowing what your teammates want to do. Knowing their body language when they want to move. What they're thinking before, you know, the plays start coming. You know, reading situations similarly. You know, I totally understand what you're talking about there.
Yeah, so let's check out a replay here from that first point. Looking at the breakout from Aftershock. Look at Carl Markowski. Man, that guy is fast. Carl Markowski diving over the snake. He's gone to the snake, I think, 3 or 4 different ways that I've seen him just so far. And you can see it from the other way. Carl inside, and then goes right to the 50, and then immediately knows that lane. Ooh, was able to head check away from a stream. Referee getting in there and checking him out. But nice job by Carl Markowski, constantly attacking. That's the thing with Carl, you know. High level of innate paintball talent, and he's worked over the years to cultivate that into skill, and really a big weapon for Chicago Aftershock. And you're looking at Houston Heat. Ronnie Dizon, Thomas Taylor, Greg Sewers, John Woodley, and Keith DeVitt. You coached Keith DeVitt last year, Todd.
Yeah, Keith, you know, found a better fit for him. You know, his personality, he really gelled a lot better with the Houston Heat guys. Jumped over in the offseason. Good pickup for them. You know, he's fast. He's got wheels. You know, he's a smart player, and he really wants to learn.
So here we go. Aftershock on your right, Houston Heat on your left. And here goes Carl Markowski now running and gunning all the way to the snake. Let's see if he was able to make it in there clean. No, Carl finally gets picked up by Houston Heat. Nice job, Houston Heat, going up that center now. And now Aftershock having a hard time living off the break. Lawhead and Markowski coming off early. And another one looks like Chris Sostein's going to take the walk. So this point is looking like it's going to go to Houston Heat. 4 players left alive for them. They did lose Keith DeVitt trying to get out wide. And now John Woodley is hunting in the center for Houston Heat. The snake is owned by Ronnie Dizon. Oh, Dizon gets caught. Nice job by Aftershock to catch Dizon. It's now 3-on-2.
And here comes another one. This might be a penalty right here.
Greg Sewers gets shot out of that Dorito 2 in the pack. And here comes Aftershock attacking up the field right now. Oh, McKenna gets shot.
And now it's a 1-on-1, isn't it?
Yeah, seesaw battle back and forth. Looks like it's a 1-on-1 between Rob Velez. No, 2-on-1.
Keith DeVitt coming out of that corner. Woodley takes a bouncer in the elbow. Unlucky right there for Velez. But Velez tries to crawl into the snake, and he is going to get shot in the pack.
Wow. Wow, what a point.
Well, you got to be careful if you're Velez and it's 1-on-2. You don't want to put your face in the dirt and start crawling forward when you're looking at 2 bodies and one of them's got the D side completely blown open. But there's a lot to work with in the snake, so maybe he was just trying to get into the snake structure and then start utilizing the bunkers there. Regardless, point goes to Houston Heat. We're going to have a tie game as Keith DeVitt hangs it up. We'll be right back after this. So let's look here at the game matchup between Houston Heat and Chicago Aftershock. Houston Heat, pretty much good at everything. Attacking, defending, finishing, and clutch. with the veterans that they have, the proven veterans, the won many tournaments, the guys on that team. Chicago Aftershock still looking to prove themselves. They are amazing at attacking, defending, finishing, and clutch. They have not proven that over the past couple seasons, but it's their time to, you know, reform people's opinions about their squad. They have worked hard to get to this point, and they have proven that they deserve to be in the Champions Division here. Can they hold on to that spot and even, you know, get a good run at trying to win an event? We will find out, as it's all tied up at 1 apiece here. I do like what I've seen from Chicago Aftershock so far this year in the first game they played, and then, you know, it's tied up right now, but regardless, Shock could be a team to reckon with this year. And also, cool enough, Planet Eclipse is doing the 3rd season of the roster about Chicago Aftershock, so we will get to see all of the stories behind the scenes and on the field and be able to follow along with Chicago Aftershock as they progress throughout the year.
Split screen breakout. Aftershock going wide to the Dorito side. They're going to make it. Get shot going up. Oh, no, made it alive up the middle. Woodley up the middle again as well. Chad George gets shot on the break, and then Woodley gets shot out trying to come across. Aftershock loses a body.
So does Monville. Monville dropping for Houston Heat as well, too. So no one on the Snake side for Heat. No one on the Snake side for Shock either. So again, we're seeing these trades back and forth in the first part of these points. Chris Sosine spreading the field for Shock. That's a smart move there, but Shock in real good field position up in that center.
No, right now, he just needs, you see, he's going to come over here on their side of the field, go to that Aztec, and just shoot him right in the pack in the side. He'll just get them both.
Greg Seaver's getting tight over there. McKenna up in the Dorito. Here comes Sosine into the Snake, and right through the middle, Kirk Wozni drops the hammer on Greg Seavers and Ryan Moorhead. Ryan Moorhead pointing at Kirk Wozni. Kirk Wozni did the little sidestep, check me, ref. Nope, I'll give another one to Moorhead. Moorhead was pointing and screaming like he shot Wozni, but Wozni made it through unscathed and gets the 2 kills. Good job right there to open that center of the field up by Chris Sosine, bumping out here to the Snake side.
Yeah, so Chris Sosine going to hang it up, and Shock looks like they are going to take the lead here, 2-1, with 16 minutes and 8 seconds to play. We'll be right back after a few words from our sponsors. Welcome back here. Make sure to catch all the action in high definition. It's pretty amazing, man. When you put it in high definition, it's a whole nother world. And also, it helps us continue the PBA mission, which is to bring you all of the best players and teams in the world. You can get entertained and educated by these guys and seeing them do what they do. So help us help the sport push this forward. We made a lot of strides in the past 2 seasons, brought statistics to the game, which, you know, for the first time ever, we can get an objective look at who are really the best players in the world instead of just telling stories about what moves you saw. You actually can crunch the numbers and see who's shooting who out there. But we need your help to continue to do that. So support PBA and our push forward. Here we go. This game brought to you by pbnation.com. Join the conversation. Go to PB Nation. Aftershock taking the field here. They are leading 2-1. McKenna, Ginter, Thole, Velez, and Markowski taking the field for Shock right now. To fight against Dizon, Chad Boucher, Nick Sloviak, Thomas Taylor, and Keith DeVitt.
It looks like Houston Heat's going to come hard towards that Dorito side. Sloviak, DeVitt, Chad Boucher. Oh, and it looks like Aftershock shot a body off the Snake side right away.
Looks like a minor penalty also on Houston Heat right now.
Yeah,
and here comes the...
Oh my God, look at Carl Markowski. Carl Markowski off to the races.
So fast.
But Thomas Taylor got him. So here comes Aftershock trying to take advantage of the situation that Carl Markowski has created. Keith DeVitt is in the center, wheeling and dealing, trying to stop the aggression of Chicago Aftershock, but it's not enough. Very quick point here. Chicago Aftershock with enough bodies to hang that flag.
and 40 seconds left in that minor penalty. For those of you at home that don't know, yellow flag signifies a minor penalty, 1 minute in the box. If you do lose the point, you do come out. You are 5 strong the next game. However, if you do win the point, then you are sitting in the box for the remainder of that penalty. You're going to start with 4 the next game.
Yeah, Nick Sloviak getting that minor penalty there definitely opened things up for Chicago Aftershock. But Brian McKenna and Cliff Ginter were able to stay alive. And again, you're going to hear us say this all weekend long. Very important on this field to keep your wits about you, because things are going to develop very quickly. Situations are going to present themselves. Lanes are going to open up, and you can only take advantage of those if you're able to process the variables very quickly and put all the pieces together and make those moves. And so as soon as Carl saw that penalty go, Carl's off to the races, takes out the snake, and then pushes in there. Let's see if we can get a replay of that, actually. Here it is. Here's Carl Markowski, cuts through the inside and puts on the afterburners. My God, Carl's fast.
He is real fast.
You know, we always talk about, everyone's like, oh, you guys always talk about Carl being the fastest player. And I'm like, well, yeah, look at him go, man. Let's look at it from this side. The blur on the left-hand part of your screen in slow-mo, this is in slow motion, is Carl Markowski blazing down Ronnie Dizon and continues into the backfield of Houston Heat.
He got cut down by Thomas Taylor, too, and it looked like the referee was signaling that Thomas Taylor was hit on the break, but actually ended up running over. Sloviak ended up getting a penalty, getting Boucher pulled. He went to the box, but either which way, Aftershock able to pull out that point, now going up 3-1. So we'll see what Coach Trozen comes with this time for Houston Heat.
Well, important right now for Shock that they need to keep the pressure up. You can't lay off that gas when you start to go up points against a team that now is going to be focused. These are vets. Everyone on Houston Heat, other than Keith DeVitt, has had a ton of time behind that gun in big-time situations. Even younger players like John Woodley. We've seen John Woodley prevail in pressure situations in big-time games, in final games. And so we'll see if Houston Heat can get back in this matchup. They got Chad George, Keith DeVitt, Sam Monville, Ryan Moorhead, and Greg Sewer is out there to try to get it done. On the breakout, you're looking at Chicago Aftershock. There's Carl Markowski running and gunning all the way into the snake, and the referee's going to get in there and check him out. Carl Markowski not able to beat Chad George to the 50, and Chad George is in the 50 and starting to cut down Chicago Aftershock, so Markowski is going to need to make a move to take Chad George out of there. I don't think Markowski knows that Chad George is in there. There he goes. Oh, but so Markowski gets up and stabs Chad George. And then here comes Keith DeVitt to polish off Markowski. And also that D side got completely blown open. Houston Heat doing a good job there, getting back on the board here to make this a one-point match.
You know, that was a great play right there by Chad George, getting up in the middle. You know, good move by Carl Markowski, getting up there so quick, but having the ref check him so long delayed him from getting to the 50, and then it got beat up there by Chad.
Well, and Ryan Moorhead completely blew open the D side for Heat, so that played a huge factor too with Greg Sewers over there, as they Ryan Moorhead 2 confirmed for him, Greg Sewers 1. We'll be right back after this. We got ourselves a one-point game. Taking a look at John Woodley, man, talk about heroic performances in pain. John Woodley completely dislocated his shoulder so bad he couldn't even put it back in the socket at World Cup and would refuse to leave the field. And for about 2 minutes, had his joint completely separated and still was, and he was the last guy left alive. It was pretty amazing if you go back and watch that matchup from World Cup. That was a gutsy performance. But Woodley's back and his shoulder's healed up. Had surgery on it and is good to go now. And very much looking forward to contributing again on this star-studded roster of Houston Heat. Talk about a guy who's very happy with his new position, Keith DeVitt. And Keith DeVitt's getting a lot of playing time too.
Yeah, I mean, they're having success going down that Dorito side. You know, and Coach Trozen's type of coach, if you're hot, he's going to ride you.
Yeah.
You know, leave you in there, get those kills on the break, and look to attack. You know, Keith's fast.
Right there, Chicago Aftershock on your screen. Split screen breakout. Houston Heat on your left, Chicago Aftershock on your right.
So on the breakout here, It looks like both teams losing a body. No, looks like Shock is 5 alive. And Chad George gets shot trying to make it to the snake for Houston Heat. Aftershock still 5 alive and rolling their guns. And able to make it into the 50 snake. It's Kurt Wozni.
Peter Rudd, he gets 2 shots across the field, Matty.
Yeah, so Shock continuing to look good here as Kurt Wozni goes to work, and Houston Heat dying in droves. And it looks like all of Houston Heat has been eliminated, and Shock still with 3 bodies alive. And Houston Heat died out of their bunkers so fast that Shock lost the count. So, and then Wozni waves off everybody. And Houston Heat forced to concede that point, so now the score is going to be 4-2. Confirmed kill leaders that played that last point for Aftershock, Kurt Wozni with 4, and AJ Lawhead with 3. And Lawhead, speaking of injuries, had an injury to his ankle, but he's out there just grinding it out, man.
That Dynasty game when Dynasty got a penalty, everybody's sitting there looking at who's going to run the flag in, and everybody's staring at AJ because he was the closest.
Yeah,
and then
we actually said
AJ ran
like that
in. AJ ran that flag in, and as soon as every other player got back to the pit, Mikey Bruno was like, "Are you guys crazy? Why are you making the injured ankle guy run the flag in during the penalty? Not one of you guys could have gone over and got the flag."
We said the same thing up here.
Yeah, we were like, and Steve was making fun of him how slow he was. I'm like, well, actually.
Yeah.
It's about as fast as you are, A, and B, his ankle's all torn up. So, you know, AJ Lawhead got there grinding it out. I like the guy's attitude. He's always been one of the, pinnacle players on that team, playing really well, and he's one of the leaders on that team as well. So, Aftershock looking really clean right now, man.
Yeah, Aftershock looking really good and impressing a lot of. They should be impressing you guys at home right now. And it seems it's pretty easy to root for Shock. 1, they're upholding the legend of Chicago Aftershock. 2, they're those blue-collar ballers. And they've really, they don't have, I mean, you're talking about support, the level of support for Houston Heat, the level of support for Chicago Aftershock. We're talking about 2 different planets here. But Chicago Aftershock, they really want it. These guys, they play for the love of the game. I can't wait to see the new season of the roster that's going to be coming out this year, starring Chicago Aftershock. So we'll get to see a look behind the scenes. And I think everyone that plays out there, divisional ranks across the world, you can relate to these guys because they're just playing in an Aftershock jersey. These guys got jobs, they got families, they're trying to make it happen. They're missing some of their best guys too. Still out there grinding down with some of the best.
And Thomas Taylor makes it out here to the snake side corner. Chad George gets shot in the pack on the break. Tim Montresor fills across for Houston Heat. Chicago Aftershock loses McKenna out of that Dorito side corner. And they're going to try and fill it. Oh, slip fall, get back up.
He made it.
Yeah, he made it. Did make it. Woodley comes across to the middle Dorito for Houston Heat. He gets matched up by Aftershock, and Woodley, here he comes down the sideline. He is going to trade out with AJ Lawhead, but that's going to open the door.
AJ Lawhead limping out there right now, guys. That's him on your top right-hand side of your screen, taking a limp off the field.
So Tim Montresor able to make it into the 50-yard line. Snake for Houston Heat. Best field position for either team right now. Houston Heat does have an attack, and here comes Carl Markowski.
God, he's so quick.
So Carl Markowski able to close the gap real fast and able to take out Tim Montresor, which...
Ooh, and Velez gets a shot in across the field on Sewers, so it's a one-on-one Thomas Taylor versus Rob Velez right now. Rob Velez in the Doritos, or the Snake side temple. Hey, Thomas Taylor moved into Snake 1.
Todd, this is how you make a name for yourself right here. Rob Velez able to get, if he's able to get a shot on Thomas Taylor, who's been in this situation many times before. So it's Rob Velez versus Thomas Taylor. Thomas Taylor has the whole Snake to work with. And here comes Thomas Taylor making his way up to the 50-yard line, trying to wrap around, get a shot on Velez. Velez just kind of taking his time in there. Ooh, I don't think he caught the move across, Todd.
No, Thomas Taylor's sitting in that offset mini race bunker right by the Snake, but Velez has a coach up here in the stands letting him know where he is. And here comes Thomas Taylor again, moving up another bunker. Velez playing it calm.
He's also out of paint.
And Velez wins the 2-on-1.
He's also out of, Thomas Taylor's also out of paint. Had to make something happen. He's down 2 points already.
What a huge one-on-one victory for Rob Velez. Actually, it was a 2-on-1 as he was able to get that shot cross field as well. So what an amazing clutch performance by Rob Velez. And as he hangs it up, let's check out the replay here. So looking at that blazing speed of Carl Markowski as he's able to close the gap super fast, so fast that there was nothing that Tim Montresor could do to get his gun around. Let's look at it from another angle here.
I mean, he pretty much traveled about 70 feet right there. I mean,
so
blazing fast. Before they could even see to pick him up, he was able to get Montresor. And in that confusion, Rob Velez stand over the top, and he shot Greg Sewers out of that mini Dorito on the other side of the field, making it the one-on-one. So a 2-on-1 situation. Rob Velez right there, cashing his paycheck. May it be very, very, very minor for Chicago Aftershock. Put another one up on the board, 5-2 now. Shock over Houston Heat with 11:45 left to go here.
So what a great debut for Chicago Aftershock this season so far. They did lose their first game. They lost to Dynasty, but they look good doing it.
Yes.
And you could tell that they didn't get down. They got up from that game. They drew some inspiration from that match, and they came in here against Houston Heat, favored in this matchup, and they are leading right now 5-2. We'll be right back after this. So here we go. Can Houston Heat, who has called a timeout, get it together here and try to mount a comeback to defeat Chicago Aftershock, who is looked honestly pretty stunning. They have those weapons are going to work for them. Carl Markowski is just blazing down the field, making big moves. He has 6 confirmed kills so far in this matchup. Rob Velez winning an awesome one-on-one against Thomas Taylor. So Shock looks really good right now. Houston Heat still, you can tell that Jason Trojan's putting a lot of different guys out there, getting different looks, trying to see, all right, who's going to step up for us right now? Who's going to help carry this team forward, try to win us some more tournaments? 4 out of 10. That's the record for Houston Heat in their existence in the past 2 years. 4 wins out of 10 tournaments, which is a completely ridiculous record. But they've reformed in the offseason. Randy Smith, the owner, amazing job of bringing in some great talent, and we'll see how long it takes them to get it together, but right now they're getting beat up by Chicago Aftershock.
Yeah, Shock's just hitting their shots on the break. They're doing a really good job. When Houston Heat only sends 2 bodies over here towards the snake side, and then Chicago Aftershock's able to peel one of those off, Houston Heat's got to be able to get up that Dorito side a lot faster, if they have the advantage. But, Houston Heat kind of hurting themselves by losing that body right away on the snake side, only sending 2 over there. And once again, Houston Heat looking like they're going 3 bodies towards the Dorito side. Going to send 2 towards snake, see if they can get somebody out here alive. Chad George, Tim Montresor. There's Aftershock. Chris Sosine shooting across the field towards Tim Montresor. Looks like he bounced Tim Montresor in the back. May have shot him. Yes, he did. Chris Sosine with another kill. Chad George as well getting shot. Ronnie Dizon breaks up to the Dorito side, sees 2 bodies die, comes all the way back across to the snake side.
But it looks like Carl Markowski got shot for Chicago Aftershock, so Houston Heat only team in the snake right now. But Chicago Aftershock has a really good angle in that center, so Dizon's going to have to be careful here. If he starts head checking towards that center, he might get caught. So Dizon trying to head check all over the place and figure out where all the bodies are. But you can see Shock there in the right-hand portion of your screen, but Dizon's blocked out. Now Dizon's trying to angle down. Now he's going to get to the 50. He's got to be real careful here, and Dizon gets shot. Dizon did not know that the 50 was hot. So Shock now, again, pushing up on that D side, and at Chicago Aftershock came to this first event to play some paintball. And Chicago Aftershock is going to be 1 point away from taking down a heavily favored Houston Heat in this matchup.
Yeah, Chris Sosine right there just lacing people up. He's the one that keeps going to that little pin over there on the Dorito side, shooting across the field, and he is just peeling bodies off this side. I mean, it's a pretty straight shot from right there to the corner. He keeps running out to that corner. He laced up Tim Montressor right away and then closed that game out right there by running down Keith DeVitt, trading out, open up the game for the rest of his teammates to come get that flag.
Wow. So let's see if Houston Heat can get back in this matchup. They have just under 11 minutes to play. Tons of time left. Let's see what Coach Jason Chosen has for him. He's walking out with his guys right now, trying to give them some insight here, some game plans. And there's Shock spilling out on the field, and their coach, Mikey Bruno, paintball legend himself, will be right back after this.
What we have to deal with to get ready for these tournaments is it's way harder than some of these other teams. I love the fact that the team has the reputation of the blue-collar team, because we always were. I got some dirt rockers on my team now, some grunge rats. I mean, that's what we were like. I got guys that don't like people, you know, and that's what we were like. Let's get that straight. We are going to win.
Man, I can't wait to see that season of the roster.
Yeah,
can't wait.
Without question.
Especially if Shock keeps playing like this. Oh my God, it's gonna be entertaining.
They're only gonna get better. I mean, I said that the first game. I was like, man, if these guys are playing this way now, I can't wait to see them around the World Cup.
Well, they're definitely waking up. I'm sure a lot of people are gonna have their eyes on them now if they keep playing like this. So here we go on the breakout. Split screen breakout. Heat on your right. Shock on your left. Shock losing bodies though. 2 bodies drop for Shock. Here comes Woodley up through the center. He's still alive. Woodley past the 50-yard line for Houston Heat. Houston Heat losing bodies too though. And here comes Ginter. Ginter and Woodley run past each other, and I think we might have a one-on-one. So no, it's 2-on-1 right now. Ginter's still alive. The field has shifted completely. And Woodley, is he going to be able to pick up Ginter? Ginter has no idea what the count is.
It was a 3-on-1.
Oh, it was a 3-on-1.
There was still, Chad Boucher was still in the Dorito side corner over there.
Where'd who go?
Yeah.
He was inverted.
That was a great play, though. I got to give it to him.
Well, Ginter had blown the snake side, or was the last guy left alive over here, so he's running down on that side of the field. Off to the races on the D side is Heat, as Woodley went up the center, too. And then Chad Boucher was left alive in that back corner bunker. So it was a 3-on-1, even looked like it was a 2-on-1. Regardless, Heat wins the point, so now we got ourselves a 3-point match. John Woodley getting up on that kill count there. 5 confirmed for him. And it looks like Woodley got himself a 3-pack there on that point going up the center. Looking at the pits right here for Shock. Chris, let's check out this replay, Chris.
You know, I love this move up the center. You know, because you can see the diagonal bunkers. You come up in the center, you knock down the snake side of the field, you get up the field, you go to their Aztec, and everything's in a row. You just come up and shoot everybody. I mean, I love that spot where John Woodley goes. I looked at the field earlier. I came down the field. I walked it a little bit, and I said, man, this is awesome right here. Now, I'm not sure how him and John Woodley actually missed each other, because they were like 10 feet from each other. I thought for sure both of them got shot.
Yeah, well, when Ginter kept running, Woodley switched his gun and went the other way, and then had the loop-de-loop back around. So, coming on the field right there, that's Sam Monville. You got Ryan Moorhead, John Woodley, Chad George, and Chad Boucher for Houston Heat. Coming on the field for Chicago Aftershock, you got Rob Velez, Kirk Wozni, AJ Lawhead, Brian McKenna, Chris Sosine. There's Houston Heat trying to mount a comeback, down 3 points, but Chicago Aftershock game point right now. They've only played about a minute and a half worth of paintball the past 2 points.
Well, let's see if he can get it done here on the breakout. Heavy guns up, and they send Woodley up again in that center. There goes John Woodley towards the center. Wozni for Shock, able to get in a snake one, trying to keep Woodley at bay. You can see there, paint starting to blow up off the side of Woodley's bunker. And here comes the launch, the attack to bunker out Woodley. And it was Rob Velez able to get that kill. And then off that chaos, there goes Wozni. He makes his move to the 50. And it looks like Heat just getting decimated, though, off the break and out of their bunkers. So Chicago Aftershock cruising to victory here. And when you look at the kill count for their team, everyone's contributing. Sosin 5, Wozni 6, Velez 6, including that awesome 2-on-1 that he pulled off. Brian McKenna, who was the star of the first game, he's out there. He's got 2 confirmed, and AJ Law had 5. That's what a winning paintball team looks like, when everybody's contributing, everyone's getting eliminations, and they didn't even have Markowski out on that point. So Aftershock came to play some paintball this event. They are definitely an early favorite here, I would have to say, and it's good to say that again. It's been years since Chicago Aftershock was playing this good.
I'm really happy to see this right now. I mean, those guys have been taking their lumps here for quite some time, and now they're coming out swinging.
And you can tell.
Look at Carl Markowski, fired up.
Fired up. All of Shock's lineups fired up, and they should be looking awesome. They're going 1-1 today. They did lose that first matchup to San Diego Dynasty 7-5. Still, though, they're looking sharp, and could be an amazing day out of them tomorrow, as they are going to be playing Ironmen and Vicious tomorrow morning. So do not go anywhere. Next up, we have the SoCal battle between San Diego Dynasty and Los Angeles Ironmen. Who's going to take it? Well, we will just have to wait to find out. Do not go anywhere.